At 57, the tragedy of Julia Roberts is beyond heartbreaking. Julia Roberts, the iconic actress known for her striking smile and memorable roles, has remained a staple of Hollywood for over 3 decades. She became a household name in the 1,990 seconds after starring in beloved films like Pretty Woman, My Best Friend's Wedding, and Runaway Bride. Roberts' charm, wit, and captivating on-screen presence turned her into one of the highest-paid actresses in the world. She won the hearts of millions, both as a romantic lead and as an empowering figure who defied the traditional norms of leading ladies in Hollywood. But behind the public facade of success and adoration lies a deep, heartbreaking tragedy, one that has unfolded over many years. At the age of 57, Julia Roberts is still revered for her immense talent and beauty. Yet she carries with her a weight of personal grief and emotional scars that have only become more evident with time. As she enters her late 52s, her story is no longer just about glamorous red carpets or accolades, but is increasingly about the toll that fame and life's harshest challenges have taken on her. Roberts rose to fame at an incredibly young age, and with that fame came an intensity of attention that only a few in the world can truly understand. She was thrust into the limelight in the early 1,990 seconds, and soon became one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses. But with that fame came immense pressure to maintain her place at the top, to live up to the expectations of the world, and to manage the constant public scrutiny that often accompanies a life in the spotlight. Through it all, Roberts projected an image of confidence and poise. Whether in interviews or on-screen performances, she often spoke about her love for her craft and the importance of family. Her portrayal of strong, resilient women in films was something many could relate to. Yet, as her career flourished, so did the personal challenges she faced. Behind the glamorous exterior, there was a series of personal setbacks, heartbreaks, and the haunting weight of loss. In the early stages of her career, Roberts found herself in highly publicized relationships, most notably with actor Kiefer Sutherland. The engagement was short-lived, and their breakup, especially following a highly publicized relationship, was a devastating blow to the actress. The intense media scrutiny surrounding the end of their relationship left Roberts feeling exposed and vulnerable. Yet, this was only the beginning of her personal struggles. Her love life, despite its many ups and downs, often seemed like a fairy tale for the public eye. Roberts found lasting love with cinematographer Daniel Moder in 2002. The two married in a quiet ceremony in the midst of Hollywood's chaotic world, and their relationship was seen as a beacon of stability for the actress. Together, they have 3 children, and Roberts has often spoken about how much they mean to her. However, like many public figures, even her family life has not been free from turmoil. The actress, despite her ability to hide it behind her public persona, has endured tremendous emotional pain throughout her life. One of the most tragic elements of her personal life has been the loss of her half-sister, Nancy Moats. In 2014, Moats, who had struggled with her own issues, died of an apparent drug overdose, an event that devastated Roberts and left an indelible mark on her life. The actress had been close to Moats, and her sudden death thrust Roberts into a period of profound grief that affected her more deeply than anyone could have imagined. The death of Moats led Roberts to publicly reflect on the importance of family, loss, and emotional resilience. It also made her more open about the personal toll that fame had taken on her mental and emotional well-being. For many years, the public saw Roberts as the picture of success, happiness, and stability. But behind the camera, she was struggling with the same universal human challenges that most people face, from the burden of loss to the complexities of mental health. Moreover, Roberts' struggle with the intense expectations placed upon her has been deeply personal. At the height of her career, she was one of the highest-paid actresses in the world, but this fame came at a steep price. Despite her undeniable talent and professional success, Roberts has spoken candidly about her struggles with being in the public eye and the toll it took on her sense of self. The actress has often discussed the pressure to constantly reinvent herself, both as an actress and as a person. In an industry that prizes youth and beauty, the challenges of aging in the spotlight are particularly difficult. Roberts, like many other women in Hollywood, has faced the painful reality of an industry that often defines a woman's worth by her looks. As she reached her 50 seconds, Roberts was forced to confront the changing dynamics of her career. No longer the leading lady in romantic comedies, she had to navigate an industry that had a tendency to sideline women as they aged. Yet, despite these pressures, she continued to work, starring in critically acclaimed projects like Ben is Back, 2018, a role that demonstrated her range and ability to still command attention in the industry. But as Roberts's professional life continued to evolve, her personal life was still fraught with complexities. In recent years, the actress has faced a number of challenges, including ongoing struggles with balancing work and family life. As a mother of 3 children, Roberts has made it clear that her family comes first. Despite this, the constant balancing act of maintaining a successful career while raising a family has been emotionally taxing. The struggles of parenthood, along with the inevitable sacrifices that come with a life in the public eye, have only added to her personal difficulties. The death of her sister Nancy, along with other personal setbacks, forced Roberts to re-evaluate her priorities and what it means to live a full life. Her journey from the carefree, dazzling young star to a more reflective and grounded woman in her late 50 seconds is a testament to the resilience and emotional growth she has experienced. Yet, as she faces the inevitable challenges of aging, motherhood, and the ever-present pressures of fame, it becomes clear that Julia Roberts' story is more than just a tale of success. It is a story of vulnerability, loss, and the complexities of finding peace in a world that is often unforgiving. At 57, Julia Roberts' tragedy is not just in the things she has lost, but in the public's often incomplete understanding of who she really is. Despite being a symbol of success, beauty, and talent, she is also a woman who has struggled with deep personal losses and internal battles. For those who have followed her career, it is clear that Julia Roberts' story is one that has many layers, some of which are heartbreaking and others that reveal the true depth of her character. Toll it took on her. For a woman who had become so accustomed to controlling her image in the public eye, the loss of a loved one so tragically and publicly was an emotional burden that no amount of fame could shield her from. It was during this time that Roberts began to reflect on the deeper aspects of life, particularly the idea of impermanence and how fragile human existence really is. While she was known for her roles as resilient, strong women on screen, the off-screen Julia Roberts was forced to face the fragility of her own emotions and the grief that comes from the loss of someone so close. The death of Nancy Moats also forced Roberts to reconcile with the complexities of addiction and mental health struggles, themes she had not been as open about in the past. It became clear that Julia's public persona, that of the happy, ever-smiling actress, was just that, a persona. Behind closed doors, she was dealing with pain and loss that was far from the image of perfection that fans and the media had come to expect from her. She, like so many, was struggling with her own demons and the weight of a world that often does not allow for vulnerability. The emotional toll of fame. The demands of fame have always been taxing. But as Julia Roberts entered her 50 seconds, the pressure seemed to intensify. Hollywood, an industry known for its cutthroat nature, often seems to value youth and beauty above all else. As Roberts aged, she became more aware of the changing dynamics of her career. At the height of her fame, she had been the epitome of what Hollywood considered to be the ideal woman: beautiful, charismatic, and talented. But as time passed, Roberts began to confront the reality that Hollywood is a world where the value of women often diminishes with age. For many women in the industry, the transition from being the leading lady to a more mature, a secondary role can be disheartening. Roberts, despite her extraordinary talent and critical acclaim, faced this challenge head-on. She became increasingly aware of the industry's obsession with youth and how it often sidelines women as they age. This reality led Roberts to become more selective in the roles she chose. Rather than chasing the same kind of commercial success she had experienced in her earlier years, Roberts began to focus on projects that were more meaningful and that allowed her to play more complex characters. In films such as Ben is Back, 2018, where she played a mother struggling with the return of her son, battling addiction, Roberts demonstrated that she could still carry a film without relying on the romantic leading lady trope. However, the role also underscored a painful reality. No matter how hard she worked to maintain her relevance in the industry, the changing tides of Hollywood were always present, and age was a factor she could not ignore. This realization brought with it an overwhelming sense of both personal and professional insecurity. For someone who had built her career on being the center of attention, the shift from a mainstream leading lady to an older, more mature character was both liberating and heartbreaking. Marriage and motherhood. In addition to her career struggles, Roberts' role as a wife and mother has been a source of both joy and difficulty. She married cinematographer Daniel Moder in 2002, and the two have 3 children together, twins Hazel and Phineas and their younger brother Henry. While Roberts has been incredibly private about her family life, she has spoken publicly about how motherhood has profoundly shaped her. Despite her immense professional success, her children are at the center of her life. She has often discussed how important it is for her to maintain a sense of normalcy and balance in her family life. Something that is not always easy when you're a global superstar. Roberts' commitment to her family has not come without its own set of challenges. Being a mother in the public eye means that every aspect of her life is scrutinized. From the way she raises her children to the time she spends with them. Roberts has made it clear that she values her time with her family above all else, often making career decisions that will allow her to be present for her children. However, balancing a demanding career with the responsibilities of being a mother can be emotionally taxing. Like many women, she has had to make sacrifices in her professional life to ensure that she is there for her children. In a world where mothers are often expected to have it all, Roberts' decision to prioritize family over work at times has made her a target for criticism. However, in interviews, she has been unapologetic about her choices, emphasizing that being there for her children has always been her top priority. Despite the pressures of being a public figure, Roberts has managed to maintain a sense of humility and authenticity when it comes to her role as a mother. However, this constant balancing act between career and family has undoubtedly taken its emotional toll. Reflections on aging and legacy. As Julia Roberts approaches her 60 seconds, she has reflected more openly on the passing of Time and what aging means to her. In an industry that places so much emphasis on physical appearance, Roberts has been candid about her discomfort with the constant focus on how women are expected to look as they age. In interviews, she has spoken out against the pressure to maintain youthful beauty and has instead embraced the idea of growing older with grace. Aging has become one of the most significant themes in Roberts' life, as she seeks to navigate the challenges that come with it both personally and professionally. Though she is still as talented as ever, Roberts has acknowledged that there is a certain sadness that comes with the realization that Time, once lost, cannot be reclaimed. As someone who has lived much of her life under a microscope, the passage of Time is an ever-present reminder that she too is subject to the same vulnerabilities as everyone else. At 57, Julia Roberts' journey is a complex one, marked by profound personal challenges and professional triumphs. The tragedy of her life is not just in the losses she has experienced, but in the way those losses have reshaped her understanding of fame, family, and self-worth. She is no longer the young, carefree star who captivated audiences with her charm. Instead, she is a woman who has faced heartache, learned to navigate the challenges of aging, and ultimately has become a more grounded and introspective figure. The heartbreak of Julia Roberts is not just in what the public sees, but in the quiet moments of reflection, the unspoken struggles, and the strength it takes to keep going in the face of overwhelming personal loss. Her story serves as a reminder that even the most successful and beloved figures are not immune to the human condition, the pain, the struggle, and the resilience that make us all who we are. At 57, Julia Roberts' journey is far from over, but her life story is a poignant reminder that resilience and vulnerability often go hand in hand. Despite the overwhelming fame that came her way early in life, Roberts has faced an array of personal trials that have shaped her into a more introspective and thoughtful figure in the years that have followed. She is now a woman who has witnessed both the brightest moments of her career and the darkest periods of her personal life. It is this combination of strength and vulnerability that has allowed her to persist and continue to inspire millions, but it has also left her with a profound sense of reflection as she looks back on her life. A journey of personal growth. One of the most remarkable aspects of Julia Roberts' life is the degree to which she has evolved both as an actress and as a person. As she matured, so did her career choices. Early in her career, Roberts was often cast in roles that emphasized her beauty and charm. With films like Pretty Woman 1990 and My Best Friend's Wedding 1997, cementing her status as the romantic lead. However, with Time, Roberts became more selective, opting for roles that were more layered and less reliant on her external appearance. She demonstrated a desire to stretch her acting muscles, taking on more serious and complex characters, such as in Erin Brockovich, 2000, a role that earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress. This shift in her career is not just about diversifying her portfolio, it is also indicative of the personal growth Roberts has experienced over the years. As she aged, she became less concerned with fitting the mold of the ideal Hollywood starlet and more focused on playing roles that were closer to her own life experiences. This transformation has allowed her to explore the themes of strength, vulnerability, and resilience in her work, which resonate deeply with audiences. Through her evolving career, Roberts has also come to embrace the idea of imperfection. In her earlier years, she may have felt pressured to embody an idealized image of beauty and success. But as she entered her 50 seconds, she shed those pressures. choosing instead to embrace the reality of aging, both in her roles and in her personal life. Her decision to take on roles that reflect her own aging process, such as in Homecoming, 2018, demonstrates her willingness to face the uncomfortable realities of aging head-on. In doing so, she encourages others to do the same and to embrace the passage of May with dignity and grace. The toll of public scrutiny and privacy. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Julia Roberts' life has been the constant public scrutiny she has faced. For decades, her every move has been under the spotlight, from her personal relationships to her career choices. Early in her career, Roberts was a fixture in tabloid magazines, her love life dissected with every new relationship. The media's invasive interest in her private affairs has been a source of immense stress for the actress. While some celebrities use their relationships to fuel their public image, Roberts has always tried to keep her personal life out of the limelight, which has made her all the more vulnerable to invasive press attention. The public's fascination with her love life reached its peak with her relationship with actor Kiefer Sutherland. Their engagement was widely covered, and their breakup was a media frenzy. The intense scrutiny that came with their relationship affected Roberts deeply, and she later spoke about the toll that the constant public attention had on her. Despite this, she never allowed herself to be defined by the tabloid headlines, choosing instead to focus on her work and her family. But even after she married Daniel Moder in 2002 and began raising a family, the public's interest in her personal life never waned. In recent years, however, Roberts has managed to carve out a semblance of privacy, largely by becoming more selective in her public appearances and by keeping her children out of the public eye as much as possible. While the media continues to scrutinize her every move, Roberts has learned to draw a line between her public persona and her personal life. This decision, though difficult, has been a vital step toward maintaining her emotional well-being. For someone who has spent much of her career in the spotlight, this ability to protect her private life marks a new chapter in her personal growth, a legacy of strength, resilience, and empathy. As Roberts nears the age of 60, her legacy is firmly established, not just in Hollywood, but in the hearts of those who have followed her journey. While she will always be remembered for her unforgettable roles and her remarkable talent, it is her ability to navigate personal hardships that defines her true legacy. From the devastating loss of her sister Nancy to the public and private challenges she has faced throughout her career, Julia Roberts has continually demonstrated an ability to persevere. Her resilience is an inspiration to those who have watched her rise to fame and continue to reinvent herself in the face of adversity. But it is not just her strength that has made Roberts such a beloved figure. It is her empathy and vulnerability. Unlike many other stars who have kept their personal lives behind closed doors, Roberts has opened up about her struggles and has used her platform to shed light on the importance of mental health, grief, and self-acceptance. By sharing her own battles, she has become a role model for others, especially women, who can relate to the pressures of aging, family life, and personal loss. Her ability to express vulnerability while maintaining a strong, unwavering sense of self has made her one of the most respected figures in Hollywood. In an industry often known for its superficiality, Roberts has remained remarkably grounded. Her honesty about the difficulties of fame and her openness about her personal challenges have earned her the respect of both fans and peers alike. As she moves into the next stage of her life, it is clear that Julia Roberts' story is far from over. Though she has faced tremendous loss and heartache, she has continued to thrive, using her experiences to enrich her work and her life. Her journey serves as a testament to the fact that even the brightest stars are not immune to the struggles of life. But it is through those struggles that they often shine the brightest. In the years ahead, we can expect Julia Roberts to continue evolving, both as an actress and as a person. She will undoubtedly face new challenges, but if her past is any indication, she will face them with the same courage, resilience, and grace that have defined her life so far. As she celebrates her 57th year, we are reminded that Julia Roberts is more than just a star. She is a woman who has triumphed over adversity and whose story will continue to inspire generations to come. As Julia Roberts moves through her late 52s, she has entered a phase of her life that is quieter and more reflective, yet no less significant. The public's fascination with her personal life, though persistent, has given way to a deeper understanding of the woman behind the roles. Her legacy, no longer solely defined by box office hits or her roles as a romantic lead, is now marked by the strength, grace, and vulnerability she has displayed in her personal life. The final chapters of Julia Roberts' story will undoubtedly be shaped by the choices she makes as she steps away from the intensity of her career. But what is clear is that her journey has been one of resilience in the face of overwhelming hardship, of maintaining her humanity while navigating the pressures of fame, family, and personal loss. Julia's true story is about the deep emotional and spiritual growth that comes from enduring life's most trying moments, living beyond the spotlight. Julia Roberts has often spoken about her decision to prioritize her family life over her career, especially in the years following the birth of her children. Despite the glamorous nature of her profession, Roberts has always made it clear that her role as a mother is the most important part of her life. She has spoken candidly about the challenges of balancing family and fame, how motherhood has forced her to reevaluate her priorities, and how her children have become her grounding force in a world that often feels out of control. Her children twins, Hazel and Phineas, and their younger brother Henry, have remained a central part of her life, and she has worked hard to shield them from the public eye as much as possible. Unlike other celebrities, Roberts has consistently protected her children from the intense media scrutiny that is often a byproduct of fame. The actress has emphasized the importance of her family's privacy, choosing to live outside the prying eyes of the paparazzi whenever possible. In recent interviews, Roberts has revealed that while she continues to pursue acting, she does so with a renewed sense of purpose. The roles she selects now reflect a deeper sense of who she is as a person, as opposed to the superficial requirements of fame. Films like Ben is Back, 2018, and Homecoming, 2018, the latter of which was a hit psychological thriller series on Amazon Prime, showcase her willingness to tackle more complex, nuanced characters. These roles not only demonstrate her continued relevance as an actress, but also speak to her ability to select projects that resonate with her on a personal level. While Roberts' career is far from over, it is clear that she no longer feels the need to chase stardom in the same way she did in her younger years. In interviews, she has been open about the fact that fame has its limitations, and while it brought her many rewards, it also came with a heavy emotional toll. Over time, she has distanced herself from the relentless pressure to be everywhere, do everything, and be perfect. Instead, Roberts has embraced a quieter existence, focusing on her family and personal well-being, while continuing to take on projects that speak to her evolving interests. Coming to terms with age and self-acceptance, Julia Roberts' relationship with aging has been complex, as it has for many women in the public eye. In an industry obsessed with youth and beauty, the pressure to maintain a youthful appearance can be overwhelming. Early in her career, Roberts was the poster child for beauty, her smile captivating millions of fans worldwide. But as she entered her 50s, Roberts found herself confronting the reality of aging in a world that often disregards older women. Rather than succumb to the pressures of staying young, she chose to embrace her age and the wisdom that comes with it. In recent years, Roberts has become a vocal advocate for self-acceptance, particularly in terms of aging. In interviews, she has talked about her decision to not undergo cosmetic surgery or succumb to societal pressures to look younger. Instead, she has chosen to embrace the changes that come with getting older, a sentiment that is echoed in her approach to both her personal life and her career. She recognizes that age is an inevitable part of life, and, rather than fight it, she chooses to live authentically, without the fear of judgment or societal expectations. Her decision to forego the artificial attempt to preserve her youth is an act of defiance in an industry that too often values women based on their looks. It also serves as a powerful message for her fans, especially women, who struggle with similar societal pressures. Julia Roberts has always been admired for her honesty, but in her later years, she has become an even more profound role model for women of all ages, encouraging them to embrace themselves fully, imperfections and all. Despite Hollywood's obsession with youth, Roberts has remained a beloved figure because of her authenticity and her refusal to conform to the industry's narrow standards. She has become a symbol of what it means to grow older gracefully, not by fighting the inevitable, but by accepting it with dignity and self-assurance. The tragedy of a lost opportunity for reflection. As Roberts approaches her 60s, there is a poignant realization that, despite her immense fame, she has often been denied the opportunity to reflect and fully experience the quieter aspects of life. For most of her career, she was constantly in the public eye, filming blockbuster movies, attending awards shows, and dealing with the pressures of a celebrity life that demanded constant attention. There was little space for her to simply be, to reflect on the complexity of life, to grieve without the world watching. The public's constant obsession with her life, particularly her relationships, has often robbed her of the privacy she deserved. The intense media scrutiny that surrounded her early relationships, her marriage, and the birth of her children all contributed to an environment in which Roberts was forced to constantly maintain her public eye image. At times, it seemed that her humanity was obscured by the media's insatiable need for a narrative. What's tragic, in part, is that Roberts, like any other person, has had to carry these burdens in the public eye, even now, as she has sought a more private life. The media continues to watch her every move. While she has succeeded in protecting her children from the relentless paparazzi, the public's fascination with her story continues. It is a reminder that fame, despite its many advantages, can also be a curse, one that strips individuals of their ability to live a quiet, private life. The opportunity for Roberts to reflect on her life without the weight of public opinion has been denied to her in many ways. Yet, she has persevered. Looking ahead, a new chapter for Julia Roberts. Though Julia Roberts has endured a great deal of personal tragedy, public scrutiny, and the challenges of aging in Hollywood, she has consistently demonstrated an ability to adapt and evolve. At 57, she continues to exude a quiet strength, one that has been built from years of experience, both personal and professional. While the public may never fully understand the depth of her journey, Roberts has found peace in the choices she has made, particularly in her decision to prioritize family and self-acceptance over the superficial pressures of fame. As she moves into the next chapter of her life, there is a sense of both closure and anticipation. Julia Roberts' career may slow down, but her legacy will continue to endure. She will forever be remembered for her unforgettable roles, her iconic smile, and the powerful eye impact she has had on Hollywood. But, perhaps more importantly, she will be remembered for the way she has lived her life authentically, vulnerably, and with immense strength. In the years to come, Julia Roberts will undoubtedly continue to inspire others with her resilience, her commitment to self-acceptance, and her unwavering love for her family. Her story is one of tragedy, but it is also one of triumph over adversity, triumph over loss, and ultimately, triumph over the very forces that sought to define her. As Julia Roberts enters her 60 seconds, the world watches, not just for her next project, but for the way she continues to evolve as both an artist and a person. While her name will always be associated with some of Hollywood's greatest films, her legacy is beginning to take on a new and more profound significance. Roberts, who captured the hearts of millions with her roles in Pretty Woman, Runaway Bride, and My Best Friend's Wedding, is now much more than just an actress. She is a symbol of resilience, authenticity, and transformation qualities that go beyond the screen and into her personal life. While the earlier chapters of her career and life were dominated by romantic comedies and public dramas, the later years of Julia Roberts' story have been about much more than fame and fortune. At 57, she has faced considerable personal challenges and setbacks. Yet through it all, she has managed to craft a life that is grounded in family, introspection, and a growing sense of peace. The tragedies she has experienced, from the loss of her half-sister to the struggles of raising children in the spotlight, have shaped her journey in ways that few could understand. However, these struggles have not diminished her impact. They have, in many ways, enhanced it. A new definition of success. For decades, Julia Roberts was seen as the quintessential Hollywood success story. From her breakout role in Steel Magnolias, 1989, to her Oscar-winning performance in Erin Brockovich, 2000. She built an impressive career that made her one of the most bankable stars of her generation. Yet, as she moved through her 40 seconds and into her 50 seconds, Roberts began to redefine what success meant to her. The standards of Hollywood fame, once a driving force in her life, seemed less important as she entered a new phase. Now, as a woman in her late 50 seconds, Roberts' definition of success has shifted toward personal fulfillment and inner peace. While her career continues to bring her opportunities, it is clear that her most treasured accomplishments are in her personal life. For Roberts, a family is now at the center of her universe. Despite the pressures of her career, she has made it clear that motherhood has reshaped her perspective on life. Her commitment to raising her 3 children with her husband, Daniel Moder, has made her less interested in chasing Hollywood's fleeting accolades and more focused on being present in the lives of those she loves. Rather than measuring success by red carpet appearances or box office numbers, Julia now measures her achievements by the stability and joy she has found in her personal relationships. This new approach has allowed her to take on projects that resonate with her values, such as her role in the series Homecoming and the film Ben is Back, both of which dealt with themes of mental health, addiction, and personal redemption. Roberts is now interested in stories that speak to her own life experience, stories about healing, strength, and redemption. Julia Roberts and the power of vulnerability. In many ways, Julia Roberts' vulnerability has become one of her most powerful assets. As a public figure, she has often been lauded for her ability to remain true to herself, even in the face of intense media scrutiny. While Hollywood often expects stars to present a polished, flawless image, Roberts has chosen to reveal her imperfections, sharing her own personal struggles in a way that makes her more relatable to her fans. She has never shied away from discussing her own emotional challenges, whether it be the loss of a loved one, the difficulties of balancing work and motherhood, or the complexities of growing older in a youth-obsessed industry. Roberts' willingness to be open about her vulnerabilities has had a lasting impact on those who admire her. In an age where social media and the entertainment industry often promote idealized, unrealistic portrayals of life, Roberts stands as a beacon of authenticity. She has set an example for women of all ages, proving that it is possible to age with grace, to face challenges head-on, and to live life on one's own terms. By doing so, she has cultivated a deeper connection with her audience, one that transcends the superficiality of fame and taps into the universal experiences of loss, love, and personal growth. Her openness about the tragedies she has faced, including the death of her sister, Nancy, has given her fans a rare glimpse into the rawness of her personal life. Through these moments of vulnerability, Roberts has shown that she is more than just a movie star. She is a woman who has lived, loved, and endured just like anyone else. Her willingness to confront her pain and still move forward is a testament to her strength. The role of family in Julia Roberts' life. For Julia Roberts, family is where her true sense of fulfillment lies. While her career has brought her fame, wealth, and critical acclaim, it is her role as a mother and wife that she treasures most. Since her marriage to Daniel Moder in 2002, Roberts has made it clear that family is her priority. The couple, who share 3 children together, live in a relatively private, low-key life outside of the public eye. Roberts has often spoken about the joy and challenge of raising her children, Hazel, Phineas, and Henry. She has emphasized that she wants her children to experience as much normalcy as possible despite their mother's fame. The family's life is not centered around the Hollywood scene, but instead on providing a stable, grounded environment for their children to grow up in. In interviews, Roberts has revealed that while she loves her work, she has always placed the needs of her children above her career. She has also noted that her children have been a source of immense personal growth, teaching her lessons about patience, perspective, and unconditional love. The dedication to her family life is also evident in the way Roberts has handled her professional choices. While many of her contemporaries in Hollywood may continue to chase fame and fortune well into their later years, Roberts has been selective about the roles she takes, often turning down projects that would require too much time away from her family. For her, the joy of being a mother has outweighed the allure of Hollywood's glitz and glamour. Reflections on legacy and future. As Julia Roberts looks to the future, it is clear that her legacy will extend far beyond the box office hits she has delivered. In her late 50s, she has solidified her place not just as one of Hollywood's greatest actresses, but as a woman who has navigated the complexities of fame, family, and personal loss with grace and resilience. Her life story serves as a powerful reminder that true success is not measured by fame or wealth, but by the depth of one's relationships and the ability to live authentically. While Roberts may have experienced her share of tragedies, it is in her ability to rise above them that her true strength lies. The challenges she has faced, from the heartbreak of losing her sister to the trials of raising children in the public eye, have shaped her into the person she is today. In doing so, she has become an example of how to live a meaningful life, one that prioritizes love, family, and personal growth over external achievements. Looking ahead, Roberts will continue to inspire future generations of women, reminding them that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a source of strength. As she moves forward in her life and career, we can expect Julia Roberts to continue to make choices that reflect her inner values, and in doing so, she will undoubtedly continue to leave a lasting impact on both the world of cinema and the lives of those who admire her. At 57, Julia Roberts' story continues to unfold as an inspiring testament to how women in Hollywood and in life can redefine their roles, challenge societal expectations, and craft meaningful paths beyond the conventional narrative of fame and fortune. For most of her life, Roberts was seen as the quintessential Hollywood darling, beloved for her roles as the leading lady in romantic comedies and dramas. But as the years have passed, Roberts has moved away from the bright lights of her early fame and chosen to focus on a quieter, more authentic life, one grounded in family, personal fulfillment, and the ongoing pursuit of self-discovery. Navigating the twists of fame, a different kind of success. From the moment Roberts graced the big screen, she became a fixture in Hollywood. Pretty Woman, 1990, My Best Friend's Wedding, 1997, and Runaway Bride, 1999, not only turned her into a household name, but also established her as a beacon of charisma, charm, and relatability. She was the fairy tale heroine that many wanted to emulate, with the enchanting smile and a career that seemed unstoppable. However, the path of fame and fortune isn't always as glamorous as it may appear from the outside, and Roberts has faced her share of personal challenges and heartache, despite having the world at her feet. Roberts has consistently spoken about the personal toll that fame has taken on her. Early in her career, her relationships were scrutinized in the media, and her every move was picked apart in the tabloids. The end of her engagement to Kiefer Sutherland, one of the most high-profile splits of the 1990 seconds, brought about an intense public fallout. While Roberts' professional life thrived, her personal life often felt like a battleground, with the weight of constant media attention leaving her struggling to protect her own emotional space. In her later years, Roberts became more protective of her personal life. She married cinematographer Daniel Moder in 2002, and the couple has remained largely private, raising 3 children together while keeping their family out of the limelight. This shift toward privacy came at a time when Hollywood's obsession with perfect public images was growing stronger. Yet, even as the press continued to follow her every move, Roberts quietly moved away from the intense, pervasive public scrutiny that once defined her existence. She chose a path of selective public appearances, focusing her energy on roles that truly mattered to her and on building a life that felt more authentic. A shift in priorities, family first. As Julia Roberts navigated the challenges of aging in an industry obsessed with youth, she began to make family her top priority. Over the years, she has made it clear that her family, especially her children, have brought her the greatest joy and sense of fulfillment. After giving birth to twins, Hazel and Phineas, in 2004, followed by their younger brother Henry in 2007, Roberts openly admitted that motherhood reshaped her understanding of what it meant to live a full life. In interviews, Roberts has often discussed the challenges of raising children while maintaining a career in Hollywood. She has been candid about the sacrifices she's made, choosing roles that allow her to balance her professional life with her responsibilities as a mother. She has also highlighted the importance of keeping her children away from the constant scrutiny of the press. By stepping away from the public eye as much as possible, Roberts has sought to create a more normal environment for her children to grow up in, away from the invasive nature of celebrity culture. While other celebrities may have capitalized on their fame to create more public personas for their families, Roberts has stayed committed to preserving her children's privacy. Her decision to live outside of the Hollywood spotlight has earned her respect from many who understand the importance of family over fame. She has continued to emphasize the importance of family, even in her own interviews, calling her children and husband her greatest achievement and the foundation of her happiness. This commitment to family and privacy is more than just a personal choice. It is a bold declaration that success isn't defined by the amount of red carpets walked or the number of magazine covers graced. For Roberts, success has become about building a strong family unit and living in a way that reflects her true values. This quiet revolution of redefining success is perhaps the most important part of her legacy. Resilience through loss, confronting personal tragedies. One of the most tragic and defining moments of Julia Roberts' life was the untimely death of her half-sister, Nancy Moats. In 2014, Nancy, who had struggled with addiction and mental health issues, died of an apparent overdose, a loss that profoundly affected Roberts. The media attention surrounding Nancy's death only added to the emotional weight Roberts carried, as she was forced to publicly mourn a loved one while managing the relentless scrutiny that came with being a public figure. Despite the grief she faced, Roberts never allowed herself to be defined by the tragedy. Instead, she channeled her pain into advocacy and a desire to protect the people she loved. The loss of her sister was a pivotal moment in her life that led Roberts to reflect more deeply on the nature of grief, mental health, and the importance of family bonds. While she remained committed to her career, the experience changed the way she viewed fame and fortune, making her more private and protective of her loved ones. In the years following Nancy's death, Roberts found solace in her family and in her work, particularly in roles that resonated with her more deeply. Her portrayal of a mother battling her son's addiction in Ben is Back, 2018, felt like a personal exploration of themes of loss, redemption, and resilience. The film's raw emotional core mirrored some of the struggles Roberts had faced in her own life, allowing her to process her grief in a public yet deeply personal way. The personal tragedies Roberts has faced have given her a depth that is rarely seen in celebrities, especially those who maintain a carefully curated public eye image. Her willingness to be open about her struggles with loss has endeared her to fans, making her more relatable and human. Julia Roberts is no longer just the glitzy movie star. She is a woman who has endured real pain, and in doing so, she has become a symbol of emotional resilience, a rebirth in authenticity and aging. As Julia Roberts nears her 60 seconds, her relationship with aging has been one of both challenge and acceptance. Hollywood's pressure to maintain youth and beauty is not lost on Roberts, but rather than fight the inevitable, she has chosen to embrace aging as an opportunity for growth. In a culture that often places great value on appearance, Roberts has become an advocate for self-acceptance and for celebrating the natural process of aging. In interviews, she has discussed how she has come to embrace her changing appearance. The idea of growing older, of letting go of society's idealized notion of beauty, has been liberating for Roberts. She has become more comfortable with the changes that come with age, using her platform to encourage others, especially women, to embrace the aging process. Her willingness to speak openly about these changes has made her a role model for women everywhere, proving that beauty and value are not confined to youth. Roberts' role in the 2018 series Homecoming where she portrayed a therapist working with veterans suffering from PTSD, is a reflection of how she has come to embrace more mature roles that align with her own life stage. These roles highlight her depth and maturity as an actress and as a person, allowing her to showcase not just her talent, but her lived experiences. Julia Roberts, a legacy of impact and reflection. As Julia Roberts steps into her 60 seconds, she has come to represent something far more profound than the glamorous movie star of her youth. Her legacy is no longer just about her box office successes or her iconic roles, but about the person she has become, one who has faced personal loss, public scrutiny, and the inevitable passage of time with unwavering strength and authenticity. At 57, Roberts has emerged as a role model for those seeking to navigate the complexities of fame, aging, and personal growth. Her story serves as a reminder that real strength comes from embracing vulnerability, confronting personal tragedies, and living a life that is true to oneself. Julia Roberts has lived through heartache, grief, and public scrutiny, but she has also lived through love, joy, and fulfillment. Her ability to live with authenticity, to redefine success on her own terms, and to continually grow, both as an actress and as a person, ensures that her legacy will be one of deep and lasting impact. At 57, Julia Roberts stands as a testament to the profound changes that come with age, personal loss, and the journey of self-acceptance. The story of her life has been anything but linear. Once the beloved queen of romantic comedies, Roberts has weathered the highs and lows of fame, personal tragedy, and the constant balancing act of public and private life. Yet, as she approaches her 60 seconds, it is clear that Roberts has found a peace within herself that was hard-earned through years of navigating a turbulent career and personal life. In her earlier years, Julia Roberts was defined by her larger-than-life presence, both on-screen and off. Her performances in Pretty Woman, Erin Brockovich, and My Best Friend's Wedding cemented her as one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Yet, over time, the intense scrutiny of her personal life, coupled with the trials of aging and loss, shaped a different path for her. Roberts has become more reflective and reserved, choosing to live a life that focuses on the things that truly matter: family, personal growth, and the quiet moments that often go unnoticed by the public eye. Roberts' evolution from the girl next door to a woman who has experienced profound personal grief and learned to embrace aging with grace is nothing short of inspiring. She is no longer concerned with fitting into the narrow confines of Hollywood's beauty standards or seeking constant validation. Instead, she has opted for authenticity, embracing her role as a mother and wife, while continuing to take on roles that reflect her maturity as both an actress and an individual. Her journey hasn't been easy. The public loss of her sister Nancy, her struggles with the pressures of Hollywood, and the challenge of maintaining a private family life have all shaped her into the woman we see today. Roberts has shown that vulnerability is not a weakness, but rather a source of strength. Her openness about her struggles has made her even more relatable to fans who admire her not only for her beauty and talent, but for the way she has navigated the more difficult aspects of life. At 57, Julia Roberts has proven that strength comes not from perfection, but from embracing one's imperfections. She has learned to live life on her own terms, rejecting the fleeting notion of fame for the lasting fulfillment found in family and personal peace. As she continues to work and evolve, Roberts's legacy will be one of resilience, authenticity, and the courage to age gracefully in an industry that often rewards youth over substance. Julia Roberts' final act is one of peace, not only with herself, but with the world. She has weathered the storms, found her center, and in doing so, has created a legacy that will continue to inspire for generations to come.